In this portion, I want to talk about a manager's role in overseeing the different elements of an artist's career. Listen, a manager in title is not uh, job is not to be an A&R, is not to be a marketer. It truly is a person to bring those type of people together in order to help an artist's career. There are good managers, and I think I pride myself in that, who has music background and usually help with that element. But if you don't have that, and you really want to be involved in that way, it's all about conversation. You got to have communication, a great relationship with your artist. You know, it's not an expectation, but it'll be great and an asset if you can help in those areas. If you don't have those capabilities, that's fine. Some artists you get that's self-sufficient, like a Drake. When I had him, I tell everybody this thing. I've never placed a song on a Drake album. I've tried, and this is me placing all these Wayne hits, but he had his DNA. He had his DNA, and with 40 and Boy Wonder and his producers that he had and his go-tos, that he was able to produce and understand what he wanted and where he wanted to go. Made my life easier, actually, but there's artists who come contained in that way. I think that you should always try to have a relationship with your artist where that can always be an open conversation, where you may hear something and may want to bring somebody to the table, because that's your job. Your job is to connect the dots and bring the best people together. So if you have an idea, you should always not force that, but try to sway that relationship with your artists, especially in the music space, what y'all trying to do, that y'all have an open, communicative relationship. Once it comes out to really distributing the product too, managers are usually, it depends. It's a case by case scenario. Like I just said to you guys, um, as a manager, it's not expected because that's not really what the role is, but it's warranted. And I think that the flow of once you talk about distributing music, then I would hope that you have great communication with your artists to be able to have input there. In the traditional old record label days, neither the artist nor the manager had that kind of control. It was the record label, and that's still that way. It's still that way. That's one of the cons. I don't think I forgot to talk about this in the label distribution course, but that's one of the cons of signing to a major at times. They've shelved. They're like, I don't want this to come out. I don't like this single, and they got control of you because they own 100% of your music, so you give them that option by relinquishing all your rights, and they funded you all this money, so it's up to them when you want to drop. So you don't have that creative control. I don't think it's right. A lot of people get locked into that. That's traditionally what happened at major labels, So that role of putting music out kind of stops with artist and manager when it comes to if you're locked into a traditional royalty type deal with the label. The amount of say-so a manager has on an artist's music varies. So let's talk about visuals and how important they are to an artist's career. That in alone, videos and any type of content has grown and evolved. When I first came into the game, it was super important. You had TV shows, 106 in Park, TRL. You had those shows that really mattered. Even me growing up with my goddamn antenna on my TV, we had the box. The shit was all blurry and stuff, but music, visuals always gave light to words and music, painted a picture. So it was super important. But as we grew into, probably when I first started and leaning out, when I first started, it started dying down because people stopped watching TV. It was a digital era, but it was the beginning of YouTube. Nobody really didn't, everybody was trying to get familiar with it and how to release music. But all we did know was people stopped watching, linear TV, all the video shows, or no, it wasn't that. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Reality TV took over. Reality TV took over MTV and BET. So they stopped showing videos as much. So there was no place for them to live. It wasn't that it was unpopular, but it just wasn't any place. And YouTube emerged and they became that place. So I don't think they ever been not important when it came to painting a picture of words that from a song or a project or an album. But you know, it was just a point in time when television changed and killed it off. And now they try to come back, and it's not. And I don't think they can ever come back with a real great video show, because now YouTube is the place where everybody go look for content anyway. You know what I'm saying? I think they missed the mark on that when they tried to strip their programming strictly to reality TV. So now, even more so, since YouTube is so prevalent, and especially since now you can get paid, videos count as streams, so you can make money off of it. You know, at first it was just about promo and having that piece as a whole. This is the first time you can ever make money in dollars off of music videos, which is very much so important. So it has to be in the formula. You as managers, you have to think about putting that in the formula. Like I said, not only to make bread, but you want to paint a picture, and content is key. Like I said before in previous classes, like, you know, the key is to connect to your audience. The key is to get your artist to have an audience that love them and want to feel like they are attached to your artist. One way you can accomplish that, outside of all the other ways that I've discussed prior, is music videos. That paints a picture, paints a narrative to that song that they might love. They might be already connected to the song or the music, or it's a chance to put out music and you bring them in. So that definitely should always be forward thinking. One other thing I got to say about that is budgets, you know, and misconceptions now. And I didn't believe this, because shit, I came from a day where I paid Hype Williams $500,000 to $1 million to shoot a video. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy, insane numbers. I think that 6 foot, 7 foot video was $1 million, hands down. And I didn't learn until I think we got G-Eazy, and he had some camera guys. And like I said, this is a different era of guys that's coming in that were born in the internet age. So he had a camera guy. He was making videos that I thought was dope. How much that cost? Like $10,000. I was like, you made that for $10,000? And so now me, I don't even look, especially if, you know, if you're a manager and you're in a situation where you have an artist in a label deal or even an independent deal where you're fronting your own money. Like, you want to start making money the fastest you can off of your music, right? Or if you're signed to a label deal, you want to recoup the fastest you can. So why spend that much money on a video when you could have, you know what I'm saying, when you could have freaking something with just as much quality? That's just my forte. These people that's sitting here behind a camera might have a different view, because that's their world. They be like, fuck that. I need this camera and red cameras and blue and green cameras. And goddamn it, I want all that. And we need that just to capture the vision and warm this room up and make the lights great and have some smoke coming out the goddamn screen. Like, the people that's behind this camera probably have that opinion on it. Me, I'm like, just get the point across. Give me something that's going to shoot to get the point across, the message. Because people, you know, listen, there are some videos that have captured moments that are, see, I can't even know. I don't even know if there's, when I'm thinking about the Thrillers of the world and Remember the Time and videos, like, I don't even know if they have that now, or okay, I lied. I forgot about Lil Nas X Montero. Wow, how could I not forget about somebody that's right underneath that's part of the company, man. That was the first in a long time of a video that really made an impact, you know, and that video did cost a lot of money too. So, but, you know, it worked. The song was #1 for 8 weeks in a row in the world. The money is already recouped in the bag, but me, I'm very conservative when it comes to that point, and try to do things just to, especially if you are indie and distributing music on your own, or have a situation where you have ownership and trying to recoup money and don't have the budgets of a major label to play with, then you definitely need to think frugal as a manager when you are directing your client and giving them advice to make sure that they do things within a budget. Because at the end of the day, you need to make money.